Hey everyone, welcome back to Evony with Genghis. Talking about the developer call. Last night it took place and Singh was the star of it. So I think this was his first time in the developer call, or at least he didn't talk much in previous ones. Usually people watch it on Colt's stream. Colt was late to it, and Singh was on time. He had his stream going. Check it out. I got it in the description. Well worth watching. Lots of comical moments. I wrote down a bunch of stuff that happened in it, and some very comical highlights. Singh, Colt has done a great job in the past, but I find Colt, not just Colt, but everybody. So Colt would say something and a good point, and I'm just saying him, and because it was his stream and he seemed to be the most dominant person talking, taking charge of the room. But this time he wasn't there for quite a while, for like maybe an hour, 45 minutes. And Singh kind of took charge, being like the moderator sort of. And what goes on in these calls is they talk with one of the developers, Alina. Actually, sorry, no. She's an Evony representative who talks to developers. That's what we are told. For all we know, she has nothing to do with Evony, and they just hire someone for 1 hour to take notes. We have no idea. It seems like she doesn't play the game or really understand it, which makes sense because the developers seem to not play the game or understand it as well. So anyways, Singh would not let her off the hook, which is the thing I find in Colt's previous streams, was that they'd ask a question, or Alina would ask a question, people would answer, Alina would talk, give an answer, and then they'd let her off. And what I mean by that was, if you watch a politician talk, a president, a prime minister, they give an answer, and nowadays there's no follow-up question. They just allow the president or the prime minister to say whatever they want, and then there's no follow-up question. So it's like a controlled audience. Well, Singh was doing what, reporters used to do, which was their job, which was follow up with a tough question. So the most interesting part was they were talking about civilization gear. And Singh and other players were saying, we want civilization gear to be free for our teammates, because this is all big coiners in this group mostly. We would like it to come from bosses, fragments to drop. What about players who played Taishi's Wheel and are sitting with 28 fragments? How are they ever going to get those 2 fragments again? Like, you got to give people some hope, give them a path to completing something. And she said, we have events coming for that. And things like, what do you mean events coming? Can you be more specific? What type of events? Do you mean coining opportunities? And she just flat out said yes. So that's it. It doesn't look like Civ gear is ever going to be free. Unless something seriously changes, tons of people walk away, like big coiners, or people just stop spending. I don't think it's ever going to be free. Because, one of the things that's going to be really hard for Evony is to transition away from civilization gear. Right? Like, what's going to make people buy the top pack, do the full cake, if you used to get civilization gear? Like, when you look at the packs that you could buy, you click up here in the corner and you could buy these packs. They used to say like 25,000%. Now it says 52,000. That's not going to be good enough for a while. Eventually it's going to have to say 75,000, because people always want more. It's human nature. So you have to lure people in. So they can't just take civilization gear away. They have to offer something else in the final pack. So who knows what it's going to be. Anyways, let's get down to different things that were discussed in the talk. And people wanted another battle time between 8 and 9, and possibly between 1 and 2. And the reason is, if you look down here, there's 4 hours between, and every other one is two hours between. In my last alliance on server 68, we would have loved to have played at 9 o'clock all the time. We couldn't play at 7 because we had people from different continents. Maybe 9 would have worked, but 11 was terrible. So lots of people were tired, didn't want to play, and Battlefield's 2 hours long, it's too long. Anyways, so she seemed to just take the note down. That's it. So who knows if that will come. Vikings, Lots of people were asking, hey, we need more gold. We have all these stupid research stones that can't do anything. Can we convert them to fragments? Your research stones here where you can produce, they 200,000 for 2,500. You obviously think they're valuable, but there's nothing to do with them in the game. Once you complete the regular academy, nothing to do with them. So can you convert them to tactic scrolls? Can you do something? She seemed to basically just say no. More gold, kind of just ignored it. So I guess we aren't going to get higher level of Vikings except on select servers maybe, unless those were photoshopped, the Nightmare and Hell levels. I don't know. More ways to get civilization fragments. I just said that, where basically they're not coming from bosses anytime soon unless something really, really drastic happens in the game, like a drop in revenue. Merges, server merges. They said that, yes, there's going to be more server merges. They're coming soon. They have a formula for it. They won't tell us what it is, but it probably is when a server stops coining, low revenue, they do something to change that up and merge them. The only thing that that goes against that is I know that Miser's server doesn't coin at all anymore. I think they have one player, Yixel. I think that's the only guy who even semi-coins anymore. Miser showed me pictures of their historic sub-events, and everything is going for like 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 clues. Only the gold Japs will have like a couple 100,000. And if you look at a healthy server, healthy in terms of coining to Evony, you're looking at 3 to 8 million to get a gold Japan. And anyways, so I don't know. There seems to be a formula and it seems to be money driven, but I guess some servers slip through the cracks. It would have been nice if actually Singh did ask if we could get preset wall generals. So it would be super awesome if you look at your wall general and you could just click a preset and change to a different pairing, right? Like I set up Leonidas with some flat gear, right? So maybe all flats. So maybe I could put him on the wall, trick people. Build up my T1s, have some sort of trap going. But if I try to do that really fast, then he doesn't have an assistant. So it's really hard to do. So if we could have presets for that, I know Singh in Battlefield likes to change his in terms of for siege HP, things like that. When his horse die, he puts different gear on. So it'd be nice to be able to do that sort of stuff quickly. At one point, someone asked, are you aware of the no coin event? Did that have an impact? And she just kind of laughed like, no, it didn't. But she did say she's aware. And she did say, yes, we are aware. We saw a YouTube video and a YouTuber did it. And then someone was like, yeah, that YouTuber's here. It's Singh. And she's like, oh, the YouTuber's here? And they didn't know. And then they talked and had a good laugh. That was kind of the highlight of the whole thing. And then she did say she'd like to talk with him after. And Singh thinks he has some ideas that could help each other out, make the game better, make Evony more money. Who knows? But it would be awesome if they just talk with a player, because I feel like they need to be walked through the game. Like, share your screen with them, show them the issues. So someone brought this up, that why after Shrine 35 does experience not go up to increase your Monarch? Why is it just locked there? Where's the incentive for me to increase my Shrine? So things like that, they could be walked through. BOC top 100 was talked about, how difficult it is. If we just look at the charts, only 1 week has gone by. Basically, it's been people ask for top 200 all the time, or maybe a top 100 that doesn't include anyone who already has Wonder 3. She kind of said no to that, like that's never happening. So they do understand a bit about the game. I agree with that. That's not a good suggestion in my opinion, because how many people already have Wonder 3 unlocked in the game? 5,000 players, right? Something like that, couple thousand. So if you take that away, you're going to be looking at players scoring 2,000 points a month to get Wonder 3. And I don't think that's right. I think it should be difficult to do, but it shouldn't be this difficult. 35,000, what a joke. I get it. I understand it's week 1 and it'll dilute a bit because everyone's not going to get 35,000, but it's probably going to still end up at 29,000. The trend seems to be that it's going up by about 4,000 or 5,000 every single month. So it's just getting more and more difficult. Other things, people talked about T15 troops to get to actually turn the workshop, the stable, to turn that into level 40. Why does it cost more than a keep? Like, it's 75 billion of each resource, and she didn't seem to care about that. One thing that I wish people did talk about was general pairings. I don't understand why do some not match and some do? Like, this to me is ridiculous. Simeon is a premium general. He's one of the top ones in the game, and he matches with nobody. Everybody's skill book doesn't work with him. You actually have, like, I'm going to show you how bad it is to pair him with anybody. So here's one. Nar, do they work? Nope. Nobody works with him. Nobody. You have to go all the way down to like Guango the Great.
Or Radar. Someone like this, just an all-purpose 15% attack. You don't get anybody good. Nobody will pair with him. Electra doesn't pair. We go down to Quango the Sailor Moon Lady. Brand new general doesn't pair. Nobody pairs. I don't know what to do here. Just leave it with Tamiris? Or Alfred doesn't pair, of course. Why would he? He's good, right? Like, why is this? They should just lift the restrictions, let everybody pair, and then everybody has the same, opportunities. No one has anything better than the other person. You pay, you get good generals, cool. Everybody should be able to pair, though. Winfield Scott, people said this was the best pairing. How do people think that's the best pairing for Simeon? The gold book doesn't work. The best one that I seem to have found that actually does work is Guango the Great. That's really the only person I found. Henry doesn't work. I tried him, tried Harold III, tried this Thutmose guy. Nobody works with him. This is so stupid. I think someone might have said Margaret works, but who wants a semi-debuff general there? So this is the best guy I found. That's it. Guango the Great. He seems to pair with everybody. Awesome. But he's 75 years old and sucks. And then if I go all the way down here and continue to look, and I don't... Like, Vladimir the Great. He's okay. Reduce enemy, increase your range troop 20. Like...
Could go with him, but again, does he pair, actually? No, he doesn't. So someone said he pairs. God, nobody pairs with this. Why won't anybody pair with Simeon? I don't understand. And if you think about Evony's buffs, we're talking about, like, buffs that are like 2,400% now. What is the difference if someone has 2420? Like, I don't understand the rationale behind not letting generals pair over 20%. So anyways, that was the developer call. My thoughts on it, what are we going to get out of this? We're probably going to get nothing that affects gameplay and helps us out at all. We're probably just going to get a time slot change in Battlefield. One other thing that people did ask for was, can 25 players be in Battlefield instead of 20? I bet we'll get that. So we're going to get 25. We're going to get a time slot. There's going to be merges that they were going to do anyways. And that's it. Check out Singh's YouTube. It's in the description. Check it out, his developer call. It was awesome. And you know what? Honestly, I dropped the ball on this. I meant to interview the guy who led the No Coin campaign. I'm going to get him on because I know it's still going on. And I'd like to hear his thoughts on it, different ideas that he has, and how it's going, get an update on that. I dropped the ball just because summertime. I had a couple different vacations. I was out of country, but I've been talking with him, and I'm going to talk to him again actually today, send him a message, and hopefully I can set that up, get an interview with him this week. This is Evony with Genghis. Like, subscribe, leave a comment.